Hey everyone, Simon here. Oh my God, what is happening with crypto and Bitcoin in particular? I'm recording this message for our cryptocurrency, crypto questions answered group, but I'm making it public available to everyone because I made some predictions, which up until August have been pretty right on. But now September I've completely stepped in it. So I predicted a while back that the first week of September would be very bullish, all reaching a peak around mid-September. Well, that is proven to be the opposite. So apologies for that. And sometimes it happens. You know, 1 out of every 10 clients you see, you're going to look at the chart and say, yes, you're a PhD engineer and you like to cycle. And then the person will say, no, I'm a stay-at-home mom and I hate exercise. And then you go, okay, today it's not going to happen. So you give them their money back and you call it a day. And this is one of those cases today. Now, I am still hopeful because, well, why should I be hopeful? Is it possible that this Bitcoin thing goes to zero? Is it possible that this that it's going to crash further? Um, I'm very hopeful. I think, believe it or not, that we are still in a bullish market. Now, why do I say that? Because if you look at even when Bitcoin hit its peak, okay, its peak in 2017, it had retracements of over 40%. Yes, 30, 35, 40, even 44% retracements while it was running up. So this is nothing new to crypto. And in fact, if you read the news on CNBC today, because the stock market took a big plunge, everyone's saying it's a bloodbath. It's a bloodbath. And it's down 5%. Yeah, these people are not prepared for crypto. Because in crypto, 5% is a Tuesday. Now, today, in fact, the last couple of days, Bitcoin has actually moved more than that. It has moved from 12,000 down to 10,000, which is a 17% decrease. And that is significant. But it's not even close to the 40% that it has retraced before during its previous bull run. So look, I'm still bullish. I still think we're in a bull run, which began around July 25th. That's about 5 days before that. I predicted a move that it would start to rise and it would be the beginning of a massive movement. And that's when Bitcoin was under 10,000. It was 91, I think, when I made that call. And then it moved to 95. And then over time, it went over 10 and so forth, all the way up to 12.5. Well, now we're back at 10. And so people want to know what's happening. Why is there blood on the streets? Now, if you're just holding on to your Bitcoin, then you have nothing to worry about. Just hold on, hodl, uh, earn your 6% interest if you're on Celsius or Voyager. And if you don't know what those are, they are apps where you can hold your crypto and earn interest just for doing nothing. And in fact, that is the way to do it, especially when you are in a bull market. So this is Celsius. The Voyager app also gives you about 6%, 6.5% interest. And there are links in the description below if you want to get 20 or 25 bucks when you sign up to either of them. You get 25, I get 25. So if you're just holding Bitcoin, you have nothing to worry about at the moment. You just got to weather the storm. It's another one of these 17, 20% drops that crypto has every once in a while. If you have a long position, then I feel for you. And I have a long position, and this is brutal. But it's also taught me a lesson that astrology and economy don't mix, especially in the astrologer. And so, yeah. That's a little personal lesson that I have to get used to. And there are other things happening in the sky that sort of generally forebode uh, um, some ill things. One of these is called Pitrupaksha. Pitrupaksha is the time when you honor your ancestors. It is a time when Rahu and Ketu are very strong. And particularly because Rahu and Ketu now are not only strong, but they're unstable. They're about to change signs in the sidereal zodiac. If you don't know what Rahu and Ketu is, it is the north and south node of the moon. And they are about to change signs very soon. So they're each at around 1 degree of the mean node. So during Pitrupaksha, Rahu and Ketu are strong, which can indicate great volatility. Well, but what about your prediction, Simon? You said, well, it had a nice run up to 12,000. The first, September 1st, but then September 2nd, obviously, it had the massive crash, Bitcoin did, and took everything with it. So what is the deal with that? Well, I actually did a chart. Now, sometimes when a chart goes wrong, you have to maybe say, okay, nature's trying to tell you something. But I pulled this chart yesterday, September 2nd, and I asked the question, how long will it take for Bitcoin to hit 12,000 again? And the first thing that you see here is a fixed descendant. So fixed indicates not right away, meaning it's going to be a little slow. And then I see the moon, which stands for the thing we're asking about, is about to conjunct Neptune. And that means in a day and a half, there's going to be even worse. So September 2nd, Bitcoin was about $1,000 more than it is now. So that meant that September 3rd, it'd get even worse. The good news is that's it. Okay, so today's the worst of it, guys. Today is September 3rd. And I think whatever it hits today, I mean, it's gone below 10,000. Currently, it's at 10,220 something. Whatever it hits today, it's going to get better. And then in another 5 or 6 degrees, moon should leave, at which point in 5-6 days, we should get a bounce back. Okay, so according to this tentative prediction, by September 9th, 10th, we should get a nice bounce back. So just hold on, hang tight, and hopefully soon this will all be over. Hopefully in time for some of us to save some face here. Now, there are a couple other things to look at. Let's take a look here. Now I want to go over with you some things that we've covered in our crypto questions answered class. And these are basic but profoundly helpful and in the long run, indispensable ideas. And the first, and they're crypto strategies, investment strategies. And the first one is something I mentioned earlier, that when you're in a bull market, let the securities, the stocks, do the heavy lifting for you. You don't need to trade. When it's in a sideways market, meaning not much is happening, you need to trade to make money. But in a bull market, which we are still in, I believe, just hold on to your crypto, put it somewhere where it's earning between 6 to 12%, like Celsius or Voyager or crypto.com, and go about your life. Myself, I've lost a lot of sleep in the last week or so, and my focus has gone away from learning Jyotisha, practicing, doing sattvic things, and I've been focusing on this stuff. So this is Rahu. Rahu's definitely come to visit me. So a lesson learned, in a bull market, buy and hold. Then the next strategy is, well, what do you buy? Well, buy what has proven value and utility, something that's actually useful. Chainlink is an oracle. It's proven to connect other other projects and feed information to them. Ethereum is what so many projects are built on. Bitcoin is digital gold. It's a store of value. These things have been proven to have value and utility. So I like the Cell token also because I use the Celsius wallet, and that's actually the next point. Actually, no. Okay, it's not the next point. So they should go in number 2 here. So what is valuable to you? I use the Cell token, and it gives me more interest. You can use the Voyager token if you use that app. You can use MCO, which is the crypto.com token, because it gives you something. So you can invest in something that you use every day. If you're a soccer player, invest in shoes and soccer balls because it makes sense. You use them all the time. You know all about them. You know the best shoes. You know the ones that aren't good, right? Same thing with this. So invest in what you know and use. The next point is consider investing in what shows promise in the horoscope. So in our crypto questions answered group, we looked at a coin called Kusama, which I knew nothing about. And the moment I pulled the chart for it, it looked amazing. Kusama and a couple of others, something called Filecoin, looks very promising, although it's not out yet, I guess. Energy Web Token looked interesting too, EWT, but Kusama was sort of the standout, or Kusama. Kusama means flower in Sanskrit, in Hindi. And of course, Bitcoin also shows promise. So what are the projects that show promise in the horoscope? And that's why our class, Crypto Questions Answered, we look to give you an astrological perspective, right, on everything. Now, of course, I'm one guy and I'm fallible. So my predictions, as you can see, don't always come true. And it's going to be like that. I'm going to make even more, this isn't the last bad prediction, right? But as long as hopefully I'm right more of the time than I'm not right, hopefully this information is useful. But the great thing about a community is that we have other astrologers. And I want to show you something shared by another astrologer in our group that's fascinating, that predicted exactly this September dump. I'll show that to you at the end. So in our group, we analyze what are the good picks, what are the bad picks, and it's not just me you get it from your fellow astrologers, okay, and community members. So what's the next thing? Buy what shows promise in the chart. Then the next sound, now here it starts to get a little ethereal, but buy the sounds that work for your chart, meaning what are the sounds that mean money for you? And this is beyond the scope of today, but every horoscope in the Vedic horoscope has certain sounds which are very positive and other sounds that are negative. In fact, I wrote a blog about this called What's It in a Name? This is on my website. If you go to blogs, you can read about that. And it has to do with the sound of your name, which is the word you hear more often than any other sound, right? Where is it? It's an old one. Namaste. What is your real name? So this is this is an old thing from 2015. Okay, but we all have sounds that correspond to our to certain things in our lives. And even the person you marry should have a sound that is good and fortunate and lucky for you versus the opposite. So that's the sounds. And the fourth thing is, this is a very important thing, is having asymmetrical bets. Asymmetrical means put 10% of your portfolio into projects like DeFi, like altcoins, that even if 9 out of 10 of those fail, but one of them goes up 100x, you still win big. For example, you put 500 bucks into 10 asymmetric. What does asymmetrical mean? It means this thing is either going to go down and lose everything, or it's going to go up like crazy, as you can see with like you know, urine finance and YF, and well, it's the same thing, and Curve and all these other ones that are just going nuts. So you put 500 bucks into 10 asymmetrical bets. So you invested 5,000 bucks, okay? 9 out of these lose, let's say they lose all their value. Okay, 99% of them, they're gone. So you've lost 4,500 bucks. You're down 4,500. But let's say one of them, 100x's. So it goes from 500 to 50,000. That's 100x. Minus your 4,500, well, you've got $45,000 gain for a 5,000 investment. This is an example of asymmetrical bets. So what are some protocols? Polkadot has the potential. I mean, after all this bloodbath is over, the September slaughter is over. Curve and so forth. So this is asymmetrical bets. A final thing, and this is something that we all need to learn from, is when and how to take profits. And there's a controversial theory that is actually very smart, I think, that says losing does not feel as bad as missing out. Meaning, let's say you invest $1,000 and you lose it all. You've lost $1,000. It's terrible. It sucks. You're going to feel bad for a few days, a week, a month, whatever, but you'll survive. Okay. Here's another example. You invest 1,000 and it goes up 100%. Now you have 2,000 bucks and you're happy and you go, hey, I'm taking my money. I'm out of here. I just made $1,000. Okay. But the coin keeps climbing until it has a 100x gain, or 10,000%. Same thing. 10,000% is 100x. As many coins this summer have done. Now your investment would have been worth 100,000. So in effect, you've lost 98,000 by pulling out early. This, for many people, hurts a lot more. Okay, you get it? So you made 1,000 bucks, but you lost out on 98,000 you could have made. And the human mind is such that it thinks about these things. It harbors these things, So for that reason, consider taking out your investment and letting your coin run. Meaning, when your coin goes up 100%, instead of taking it all, just take out half. Take out your initial investment and leave the 1,000 in there and let it work for you. Okay, very simple strategy. Most investors know this, but sometimes we forget about it. All right. And the final thing is something I've mentioned already, how to get into the crypto space. My favorite is Voyager app for USA users. Like in 5 minutes, literally, your bank is set up, no fees, no 3% fee and this fee and that fee, no fees. They do take a little arbitrage, so you're going to buy your Bitcoin at a slightly higher price, but whatever. There's always a toll to get onto the highway, the cryptocurrency superhighway. So, but it's much better than having fees. So simple to buy, simple to hold, super simple to send. And then my favorite way to earn interest is with Celsius, as you probably know by now. So I hope these strategies were good and interesting for you, and it's good to remember these during times like right now, this September slaughter that we are in, during which you think everything is going to the dogs. And here you can see the chart from 12,000 down to under 10,000. It's a 17% drop. Not pretty. All right. Oh, and the final thing I want to show you is this chart. And now we're going to go over this chart in our cryptocurrency class. By the way, in our crypto questions answered class, it's not just me talking. This is, you know, it's a conversation with our students. So we get to discuss, and hopefully you'll join us and check out our WhatsApp group as well. So this was sent by a student and an astrologer and a lover of Jyotisha Vedic astrology. And what does this graph all show? I want you to look at the blue, which is the Bitcoin price, okay? And I want you to look at how it corresponds to the Mercury line. Now, this is called Ayana Bala. Ayana Bala means the strength of a planet. Basically, it measures its declination north or south of the equator. That's it. Okay, and then it gives a unit of strength relative to that. Now watch how the Bitcoin price traces pretty much the movement of the Mercury line. You see that? As it goes up, and then it'll retrace and then back up here, and then back down, a retrace up. See there, that retrace up here? Then back down, a retrace up. There it is. Back down, a retrace up, back down, and up. And here we are. Now this is beginning of September. And so not by accident, we went back up, and now we're way down here, basically, somewhere here. And if we look at the timing on this one, actually, this one does not have the timing. We will be looking at this one in class. I hope you guys can join us so you could see when the bottom here is going to be, when the top is going to be. So that's Crypto Questions Answered. Join us. It's a donation basis, and we'll try to get your questions answered. So what's the takeaway here? The takeaway is don't freak out. This is, I hate to say it, but it's fairly typical for crypto. The reason it happened, I mean, the outside reason is the stock market had a dump, but also crypto miners took out a lot of Bitcoin from their mining things and put them on the exchanges and sold. And for whatever reason, they know what they're doing. They are the whales. They do control, the people with the most Bitcoin control the market. So, yeah, so we'll see how it pans out. But the summary then is somewhere around 5-6 days from now, let's say September 7th through the 10th, we expect things to start looking up. And I still expect we're going to rebound back to 12,000 and onwards. Okay. So if you want, join us for the in our group where we'll show the timeline here for the Ayana Bala. And until then, I will see you in the next one. Namaste.